Sizzle. I don't joke with them. So good evening, ladies and gentlemen. One more time. Good evening. Perfect. When you respond, then I know that you're ready for my poets because we have a phenomenal lineup of poets from live across Africa. So a round of applause for them. As you must all know by now, Day 3 of Peja 2021, and it's the 5th edition of the festival here in Accra, which means that since Live Across Africa has also been running from the very first year of Peja, this is also the 5th edition of poetry from Live Across Africa. And look, every year the list gets taller, every year the list gets richer, and I am more than excited to be here as your host this evening. My name is Apiokor Seyiram Ashong-Abbey. For tonight, I am a poet, but I am many other things. I'm also your MC, your moderator, and I'll be making sure that the bouquet, the buffet of poetry that you'll be served tonight comes to you the way it must, and that's why I'm here. So we've already lost a lot of time. We were hoping to do this from 7:40 to 9. No worries. The poets are here, and I'm going to start with Hope. Hope, where are you? Yes, Hope, come up. A round of applause for Hope. Stage is yours. Please clap, 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 clap.
All right, yeah. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Hope the Poet, and the title of my piece is Man in the Mask. Okay, so it goes like this. It all started as a movie. The twists and turns in it. He was the center of attraction, fighting against the odds to be the even one, and no gravity could pull him down. He tries to pace up till he crosses the finish line. If poverty were blessings, he won't wish for a dime. If wishes were horses, he has a stable mind. And so he reaches out to the bartender for a couple of shots of tequila with lime. He bends up his worries like cigar because he doesn't care what tomorrow holds. Fast forward, he drops down to his knees and rearranges his thoughts like Lego and puts aside his ego. And he says a prayer to his Father in heaven. Dear Father, hear the cry of thy servant, for I cry out for a place of haven, bonded and stranded in this dungeon of temptations and tribulations, with doubts and fears. Behind the cells of hell, I feel my heart burn. Behind the door of no return, left to my fate, I ask, where is faith? When sinking in sin, your love came reaching in. Every sin was erased. I stood there amazed of how this love keeps record of no wrong, but the devil tries to level charges against me, and not even Gareth can grant me bail. And at this point, he knew he had no savior, but he promised his only Lord that he had promised his mom back home that one day he's going to sit in Microsoft's office and she has his word. Thank you for the culture.
Thank you, Hope. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you want to do one more or you're fine? You're fine? Okay. Please, another round of applause. Now, our next 4 poets are joining us online, and that's because they're not in Ghana at the moment, okay? But of course, one thing that we've learned with this pandemic is that doing things online and digitally is possible, right? It opens the world up to us in interesting ways, even though it shuts it down also in interesting ways, right? So we're grateful for that. So next we have Kwame Brenya, also known as Kwame Nyom. Now, let me tell you a bit about him. And his bio is very interesting, okay? So I'm just going to share it with you. Kwame Brenya is Akom, godness, exhibited in Anansesem, storytelling, Anresem, poetry, Inyom, music, and ISM, drama. That's his bio. So, Kwame Brenya, are you there? Is he ready online? Tech team, do we have Kwame Brenya online? Is he ready? No? Okay. So let's go to the next online poet. Is Imagosi Towel there? Imagosi Towel. Do you see her? Do you see her? Brenia is ready. Oh, brilliant. Okay. There we go. So, Brenia, over to you.
So you bibini and the kasame ho fa yekrom kasa e kasame ho na abrofo kasa e die menti ase se frɛ ho animdifo na yentumi nin komo o e kasa mu a na yenim hwe minua bodi kyerɛ me na kyerɛ me odi ase so you bibini ene semeti udi a sesimu obusia a ofiri mu na edi a enfiri krom e da osu ide se moawo se yesi ofa ahudie na ye ni edi a na ye ni ye ho no afei siesie ho ba kire so you bibini ene semu ho afa ese semu hu no kro ene wa amre ntoma efre na akire yempa bo akire se ye ya de hye na awia kataban na obi ahya atade ntataso sande ahoma akire ne kon se o hye ne ho akonfo wa kire se wo ye de wo hye enu nti eya ahwe de wo hye afei jinsa ne hwensa frɛ nanom so you bibini ene hwensa na bɔ nanom din na abontinsuni a yesu frɛ ni obeba abɛgye a nkɔmɛgye yɛ dadaada so nim na mesom na ukrom aposom ansom na uche esanse homa atiwiem enu abi na tinsiom abuom ani nnuam mani se mesie ene anu me frɛ no bibini na obibini asema ba no yemfa no preba ento aso truth is coming emre no ba se obibini black man has to take over the throne again entity die ehukra ya hunu na die esu die enyo kra ya no na die enyu no kra ba won't mean sano entity wo sie no kra ba ama nkontom po adane se na nya no kra sabren na atrofo adifo no afa ho adidi ayeyeye nembum na wona chidifo enye wona chitafo bio asomafo no nso bai mo so bo no mote won so bo bobo won dimbone wonno kra amate akokontakra eya pema nina chichanu munam na wo to mama mbre apon na wasesa onya ankopon akokontakra na mama ye kese ma woni nkonkonkro ho enwa na se wohunu ho so hya obeda na otupe se kroyinkro no eye mefa na na ehwe ene yawo no so piao eyamende na ti anasesem bi kro mu di kro na hiya sembia eye na hintasem na suma sem so on fanso ma afetie we wo anitia for man so ojejentwie ene pani wan chira nyina chiri enu nti watetire wan tetere ma abọ nwoma mu wodidie na edi achire adene no de ada odaada afọ onu na odaada na no ode adefedefe efa odimu empene na emrenso so ebra no prayer se origina home no na yalo hope na nkontompo ka kire dom se na no kure twantro na onumom ene no kure edom no so agidi na wonjidi di besine wonjidi na so sesei yate asempa esan say no crab ba
Brenia, thank you so much. Another round of applause for him. As for the translations, maybe I'll have to twist my poetic love's leg at some point to come and explain everything that Kwame Brenia said, because I'm not a tree translator, and I won't claim to be.
Yeah.
So at some point, that's how I say, get ready. So you go and you explain to the people who don't understand and didn't understand and couldn't digest what Kwame Brenia said. Agreed? Do you have a deal? When your poetic love says something, you can't. Yes.
Let me say something, please. Asamna American to me, and kasa no keke. It's about the energy. So if you understand the energy, you get the message. Yeah. Yes. So it's not necessarily understanding cheat.
So one more now, where do you? One more Hana.
Minye bibrio. Me bacho bibrio.
Hacho.
Nia ose eja no ti na ono nso ti emu nipa pempem di na chi na nso so oyi mutu yenu won se obewu age yenkwa na nso so afei na Yesu Kwame mihia Yesu meseme mihia Yesu na ba bisa no nsem bi ade no chinchini nanso wa ma bibrem ana na nananom die ni monyankopon no dada ebi nsusu a nyame no nko ana bibifo so die no nko ane wo man nto no se onya ye nso me nananom abosom ni enwu nsa Kwame mihia Yesu na bisa no sembi ono na se obewu agye ha no abeti obi nkwa na osan so man demnafo de se ne na wa makra na ye o na mi bisa no e na si eniawu na nasomafo no ba na mo beku mi na nanom a omoje yensam saade no Yesu no wa hunu Kwame mihia Yesu na mabisa no nsembi Matese was say
Yes, we have one.
And no one say, oh, Yankopon. Na onyankopɔn a wawu a ɔsan de ne nipadua dɔteɛ no ɛkɔ ɔsoro no ɔde dɔteɛ no kɔ hɔ akɔyɛ deɛ ne wu akyire no a ɔde ne nsɛm kotwa ɛkyerɛ Thomas ni enti Kwame Brenya m'anim kotwa yi ɛna mede ba ne papa hɔ na ɔsoro ahemma mu no ɛyɛ honhom no na ɛba hɔ anaa nipadua Kwame me yes.
Kwame Brenya, yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was it. And the ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for Kwame Brenya. So next up, we have Reginald Talua Asangba. Reginald, are you there? Please. Hey, but the shadano, you not take play, crowd. I like this.
Just briefly, when you hear a tongue you understand, it means it's English. If it's any other tongue, then it is Kasim. I'm Kasna from the Upper East region, so I'm from Navrongo. Good. I know one day, yeah, I know one day, yeah. Deba no one day yo Punya song buko kalaotra I know one day Deba no one day yo Amojinga na blipunga kurikaje yo Chirabanje kalaona Amojinga na blipunga kurikaje yo Chirabanje kalaona Mother, it is 9 years today since the Maker beckoned, and you answered with just a faint goodbye. If tears could bring life, Mother, you would have risen the moment you fell to death. But here we stand. Here we stand, Mother. Memories as fresh as the morning's dew. Life succeeded you in Lent, but you succeeded life in death. For your deeds drowned 1,000 gang salutes. Mother, amongst a host of gifts, the Maker did give me song, and none the key to unlock death's secrets. So kindly accept this infantile song, to weave you into thoughts, remold you into generations, and tell of a mother who was born an antelope, yet took a time to learn the acumen of the panther. You are a stain in our minds, a scar in our hearts. Even though you die, you live. Thank you. Now, before I leave a second one, Bayemba guna yo, yemba guyo, bayemba guna kawia baro. Mana yemba guna yo, yemba guyo, bayemba guna kawia baro. Odungu tu de ban langanka bola bola bola, kawia barabanai. Odungu tu de ban langanka bola bola bola, kawia barabanai. De bam badungu dog sanga irani, kawia barmave badungu yo. Mana yemba guna yo, yemba guyo, bayemba guna kawia baro. Mana yemba guna yo, yemba guyo, bayemba guna kawia baro. Odungu tu de ban langanka bola 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 kawia barabanai. Odungu tu de ban langanka bola 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 kawia barabanai. De bamba dongo dog sanga irane kawia barmave badongo yo. A voice from within. There was a great trembling. The earth shook. The mountains quivered, and the passing wind waned. In a small hut made of mud and roof with thatch, there I lay, on a gravel floor, born to a peasant family. I came with pain, but I'm here to gain. While you were fed with lactogen and Cerelac, I fed of the wisdom of my mother's breast milk. And I'm here to speak wisdom, nothing but wait. I cried and cried loud. The deaf heard me. The blind saw my plight. The crippled moved close, and the dumb were moved, but to no avail. You pitiless nations. Mercy, they say, is easy to give, for it keeps coming, but you refuse to give. And in my longing, I long. A nation lost in tolerance, blindfolded to virtue, came upon the least provocation, with no brother's keeper. I hear guns fire from far and near. I hear earthquaking of people as they run, but I do not see the adversary they fight, and I baffle at the fright. They massacre and ransack, but after the ravaging, who suffers? After the ravaging, who hungers? Then do I see the ugly face of war, having to build what was destroyed anew. Leaders stand against each other, striving for leadership, wanting to be served and not to serve. But when I stand up to oppose the wrong, they keep my mouth shut, awaiting my reprisal. But I fear no reprisal, for how it pains, brother, to live in this world of chains with no gains, while the wicked and greedy care not for the needy. In pain we try, but in vain we cry. Thank you.
Thank you, Reginald. Thank you. Thank you. Keep clapping, please. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Next up, we have another performance that's being done digitally, online, in Makosi Tau. Bernard, did I get that right? From your second homeland? Okay, thank you. Not doing badly. So, is my sister there? I'll read a little bit about her. Is she ready? Can you see her online? In Makosi Tau.
Hello.
Can you see her? Ah. You can see her? Okay, I do see her. So let me just tell you a little bit about her. She's a writer and filmmaker currently pursuing her MFA in film at the Syracuse University. She is a mental health activist and the creator of Imakosi Live, a global campaign that uses poetry, art, film, dance, and theater to destigmatize mental illness and to inspire connection among artists. Imakosi is also the co-founder of Sekei Girls, a mentorship program that promotes literacy development and nurtures creative talents in young scholars. Her work is an ongoing protest against human rights violations, social injustices, and a contribution towards dismantling gender ceilings. Her short stories and poems were also published in the Botswana Tourism Organization's Share Botswana Tourism Fiction Award Anthology in 2018 and 2019. And look, there's a long list of things that this lady has done. There's several places, numerous places that indeed that her work has traveled to, but I want you to experience her tonight. So my sister, the stage is yours. You're welcome. A round of applause.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. I love you guys. I love Peja, and I'm so glad to be here again. The piece that I have for you tonight is a little bit of a longer poem, so I hope that you enjoy it. Here goes. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Oh, Sinaka, sing Kenya, oh Jehovah. This is the hymn we sang during morning devotion. We all dressed in washed out green garments, with an LMH boldly written on the chest, except for the nurses clad in their white scrubs and deep purple cloaks, whose eyes were searching for lips that would stray from the song being sung. LMH is short for Lobate Mental Hospital, and this is no place for synchronized grace. My mother's prayer is warm. Her luminous aura fills the walls beyond where the rays of sun bending through the blinds of my hospital room would reach. When I was 8, I used to watch her host Kaula for Lema Dodana in the corner of plot 109 in the little yard of the SSG camp where police officers like my father and their families live. The day Mom hosted, I sat in the passage on the cold floor, listening to the synergy of coarse and squeaky voices reciting biblical verses to each other. Some with more melodic voices would sing and the rest would follow. These are the songs Mom sang when she cooked her chicken stew and bohobe jalerosi. Before the women prayed, they dragged their hymns longer. This is where I met worship. They had a brown leather square-shaped cushion which they held with one hand and hit with another to make drum-like rhythms as they sang. The music they made always made the yard warm, even in the night. During my last days at Sunninghill, Mom's tears were swallowed by her words. She would turn her back towards me. Her hand would move quickly across her face, and I knew that she was crying even when she tried so hard to hide it. I remember once in the hospital, my mother had been on a call, and she quickly dropped her cell phone, fell on her knees, and I remember her voice tearing through the ward. Ngwana ke ga ka ke annela molwetsi ruri wa go kuka diphate tsa bolwetsi wa go boela sekolong. Translating to, my daughter is going to live, she will not die. And that was the warmest prayer I ever felt. I sat upright on my bed to watch her, a heaviness sitting on her throat as she cried, God, God. Her cries ferried me to the throne room. I was cautious not to add any more noise to the 7 billion prayers Yahweh is already dealing with. I had rehearsed my lines. Holy, 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 holy. Until a warm wind brushes up against my back, I'll sue you for copyright infringement, the seraphim says with a straight face before bursting into a poem of hallelujahs. I'm human, I say, before formless syllables entangle themselves in my tongue. The repercussions of mind and mouth tangling up and detangling at the same time because global systems of oppression, resistance movements, and justice populate my mind. 4 wings, flapping hard against the routine, tossing and turning late at night when the sound of my own breath pressed against the pillow wakes me up. I'm half flawed, half perfection, braving this wilderness, a life lived on the wrong side of hope, like Penina, where it's the pain I caused that they remember and never the one I felt. So I stare into the sun, my eyes taking in all the stars without once betraying me. They seep through my soul, switching off the voice that tells me that I'm a river flowing nowhere. I lay my fragility at the feet of Elohim, gathering the coin-sized fragments of my spirit to cast these burdens into his arms, because my spine is slowly fading away. I remember when I was a little girl and faith was religion. I was empty, chasing winds in search of heaven, and then I hid, Jonah style, but then no one, not even I, with all my emptiness, could escape God. Itlawa pakariata, itlawa pakariata.
Thank you, thank you. I think we can do better than that. Yeah. Maybe a round or two more. My sister, thank you so much. Powerful, deep. You took us to a place from long ago, and every writer knows it's not easy to dig that deep. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you. And we do hope to see you again sooner than a year later at Peja next year.
Thank you so much.
So one more round of applause, please. Now we're going to come back to the physical, leave the virtual world for just a little while, unless, of course, you're watching us online, live across all the platforms that we're broadcasting through tonight. This is Live Across Africa, Peja 2021, and we're having a jolly old time here. Now it's time to listen to Reverendissimo. Is he here? Reverendissimo. Oh, Rev, where are you? Okay, I think Bernard is going to get him. Just hang on. He's bringing the reverends to the stage, so it's fine. Reverendissimo is here. A round of applause. Anyami.
Ago. Nimeke name mimba nyadu omanyi. Omanya blawo. Yes, my name is Nia Shali, but my stage name is Reverendissimo. And that's because I'm a priest, a poet, and an author. All of these I take very seriously. So, I'm sorry, I was running. So I'm panting. My poems have no names because I do not intend to confine your mind in a title. So let your imagination run wild as we play. Shall we play? Shall we play? Shall we play? The time was 7:43 p.m. or so it read from the face of that old, dusty, happy-looking sundial seated on the edge of the Black Nile. The moon was full. Her glamour danced off the surface of those living black waters like the spirit of a Zulu shaman would in the land of the silent ones. But most importantly, it told of her story. Of how Impanku and Wawani stole her from her mother when she was only an egg, made her barren to live in her, and now her lamentations illume the recesses of our darkness. Isn't it amazing how one person's sorrow can bring light and purpose to another? The time was still 7:43 p.m. Perching on top of that Rosetta boulder were the frogs. They cloaked the night in the ambience of their crooks, sharing with the rest of the world their linguistic and phonetic genius. But the rest of the world were ingrate. They paid back in an oppressive language. Never mind. Always bear in mind that the onus to transcend beyond The upper boundaries of your oppression and subsequent depression lies upon you. The time was still 7:43 p.m. Then came the winds. They came blowing in their vibration of motion and with whispers of prophecies from Timbuktu. Their prophecies spoke of the coming of a certain rebel. Word on the street had it that he carried in his left hand a clay pot containing the age of rebellion, and in his right hand a righteous staff of unwavering courage. Others also said that he alone carried the burden of salvation on his back because the conforming word had resolved by some misguided judgment that he was not worthy of acceptance. So he alone carried the burden of salvation on his back, but he came like he said he would, because to him the given word is the law, and the codes of his conduct are coded by some deeply seated codes of conduct driven by the highways of love, the ultimate of which says, be honest to yourself. For no greater honor has man conferred upon himself than an intrinsically genuine connection with the self. Be honest with yourselves. For no deeper pleasure has excited the souls of men than a deeply frank conversation with the self. Himself stood on top of that hill of greatness, otherwise known as the place of isolation, because solitary is the path that leads to the well of insight. Solitude is the solace found in her waters to quench the flames of strife and the thirst for salvation, and quote, all things great are difficult to realize as they are rare to find, unquote. And I cannot disagree with the concluding statements of Spinoza's ethics, but how ethical can it be when greatness continues to be difficult to realize and rare to find in a world teeming with thinking patterns drenched in a muddied pit of all things not so great? But there he stood on that freedom mountain, and there he heard the voice of the Father saying, preach on, son, son, for holy is thy spirit. But that was a school of thought wherein he would not spell the Trinity cast upon him, the reason for his subsequent casting out and consequent casting into the renegade caste. By choice, he became a freedom fighter. He had to be, because his uniqueness was a burning spear in their night, a cloak of darkness they were not willing to take off, so they hunted after him from amongst the human folks to go live amongst the goat and dragonflies of the mountains, and there he nurtured the grit to be one with his pain, loving his shame through the process, because he knew it was only a process. His kin traded him in for those cages filled with those light darkening nuggets of white gold that have now stolen your worth. And to consummate the trade, they severed the sacred biogenetic ropes connecting him to his sacred tree of ancestry, and for a moment he was lost, because the magnanimity of his impending freedom was too much to bear, and I guess he did not know he was finally free. Times were the seasons when he would contemplate a descent from atop of those mystic mountains to come share his fire with the valley dwellers, but would they not charge him with arson were the contemplative accent of his meditative language? So hear ye men, women, and children, for the rabbi has come. He has come to imbue in the heart and mind of the sons and daughters of the sun knowledge of their true heritage, that again they may not rust, glistening into the radiance of each day's light and awareness that we have enough, and in the subsequent realization of all that is, all that was, and all there will ever be. The time is now 7:44 a.m. Shall we awake on our rise? Thank you. Shall we play one more time? The human race is now at a crossing. We are standing on the verge of an apocalypse, and we want to choose a way out, but the problem is there is no choosing now, because we used up all our choices when we decided to trade innocent souls for profit. We used up all our choices when we decided to keep mute and stay put when the evil and self-centered men had their way. We used up all our choices when we decided to coil up in our shells of mediocrity and apathy, ignoring all those people out there who needed help we had simply because they couldn't pay us back. So now all we have left is the continuous acceptance of the consequences of the choices we made when we actually had the power to choose. We are now looking forward towards the emergence of a new world, a world where knowledge is free, a world where everybody gets what is due them, a world where the human worth and dignity will transcend race, sex, sexual orientations, gender, socioeconomic status, tribal ties, religious affiliations, ethnic congruity, and creed. But the problem is, looking forward to is not enough. Hoping and praying are not enough either. We have to wake up. We have to act up and speak up towards the emergence of this utopian world. That is why being average is not enough, and a desire to live a life of mediocrity is a character flaw. Eric Anderson said, the most insidious influence on the young is not violence, it's not drinks, it's not tobacco, and it's not even sexual perversion. But the most insidious influence on the young is our pursuit for the trivial and our tolerance of third rate. You would agree with me that when we were kids of about 4 and 5 years of age, when we were free, innocent, naive, bold, daring, dauntless, adventurous, we were not afraid to make mistakes, were we? We were not afraid to try something new. I mean, we could stand in front of our fathers, who were by then one of the highest figures of authorities in our lives, and ask them, Dad, why is it that you and mother shut the door, shut the window, put out the light when you're going to sleep at night? And we didn't care for whatever consequences follow from such inquiries. So then you would agree with me that what we have become now, people who cannot ask questions, people who cannot challenge and transform the status quo, people who cannot speak up for themselves, let alone speak up for somebody else, is actually something we have learned. And when I say learned, I'm talking about the psychology type of learning. We've learned to pair greatness with pain. We've learned to pair greatness with societal disapproval. We've learned to pair greatness with peer alienation. So every second of every minute of every hour of every day finds us locked up in some shells of mediocrity. But then, is that our fault? I mean, we're born into a society where keeping silent, even though we are going through emotional torment, is considered good behavior. We're born into a society where taking initiatives and being innovative is mocked. We're born into a society where aspiring to greatness is punished. So in effect, we're born into a society where we are expected in subtle but clandestine means to make peace with mediocrity. But then I tell you, if we truly want to leave our legacies deeply etched into the sands of time, leaving something behind for our unborn generations, then this mediocre trend is not the way forward. So I share with you a story that pervaded in the Irish community. In Ireland, a story is told of a man called Peterson. Peterson died and he found himself in front of heaven's door and he knocked. And Gabriel said, who is there? He said, is that Peterson? Peterson, what do you want? Peterson said, I have traveled far and wide and I'm in need of rest and refreshment. Please let me in. But Gabriel said, Mr. Peterson, it will be my pleasure to let you into heaven's door. But before I let you in, I want you to take off your shirt and let me see your scars. Peterson took off his shirt, but there were no scars on his body. And that was when Gabriel broke down brokenhearted and asked him, Peterson, are you telling me that whilst you on earth, there was nothing worth fighting for? Are you telling me that whilst you on earth, there was nothing worth living and dying for? Peterson, leave. I do not know you. And that was the sad end of the story of Peterson. Sadly enough, most people are living lives like that of Mr. Peterson. We are living lives so carefully such that we do not make mistakes. We are living lives for ourselves, by ourselves, and with ourselves. But the truth we've not come into terms with is that our mistakes don't define us. Our mistakes, they refine us and make us better people. Stronger, more resilient and confident than we've ever been. And there is no such greater life lived than a life lived in the service of others. So I leave you with the words of John Mensa Saba, who said, and I quote, that he who uses his opportunities to help raise the masses of his brethren to his own high level is following his destiny and cannot be engaged in a nobler work. But when from deliberate choice, an educated African becomes the tool of Europeans of a baser sort and keeps back the masses directly or indirectly in superstition and ignorance, he becomes the greatest enemy of his long-suffering and downtrodden race. And the greater his educational attainments and opportunities, the graver is personal pursuit and guilt, unquote. I am Reverend Decimo. You will find me same on Instagram and Twitter. Thank you for your time.
Reverend Decimo, Niashale, thank you. Anyami Iladon. The thing with Reverend Decimo is when he mounts the stage, priest and poet become one. So you can't even tell whether he's spitting poetry or whether he's preaching to you. But you know you go away with something good, right? And he really is a priest. So he wasn't lying about that, right? So we're going online once again. Oh, you can clap. Don't worry. You're welcome. Online once again. I hope our next guest is ready. We are going to hear from Pelenomi Etumeleng. Yeah, when Bernard gives me a thumbs up, then I know. I belong in South Africa, right? I belong. I know. Oh, Etumeleng.
Good evening, everyone.
Why are you like that? My polo. Good evening, my sister. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much.
Can you hear your audience?
Definitely, I can hear them.
Brilliant. So the stage is yours, my sister.
All right. This poem is titled Squatter Camp. Home is a squatter camp. My mother's house hosts our demons. Parallel paralysis, we looked to our walls, they know the secrets. My mother's house, a concentration camp, a safe space for all in need of holding demons hostage. Our brothers feed off our mouths. We are children of the locust analogy. We are the children of parents that starve to feed us, children that sleep in the kitchen floor and bath with sunlight green soap, children that dare to follow their dreams because there's no option. Home, a psychiatric ward, a host of our illnesses seen as attention-seeking. Home is home nonetheless, even though it kills us. Thank you. The second one that I'll share is a very short one. It's titled Break and Burn. Break. They said healers are magicians understanding the art of mending, breaking, flying, and crying. Burn. They said phoenixes keep folding the sky into folds, holds and warm, arms its feathers for when its time comes. Maybe the color of tomorrow is the color of fire in the sky. It is in the sounds of listening to our bones shatter at breakpoint. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll share the last one.
You have one more?
Yes, I have one more.
Okay, please go ahead.
All right. Try looking at me and not gasp with amazement when I tell you that I'm a victim of molestation, when I've never told anyone, but now, in a joke, even when I'm joking, try not gasp with amazement when I tell you that it really never happened. It was all in my mind, and I asked for it. Body coated in bruises, body contorted in knots, tears contoured on face. This was a map followed to the letter. To reassure my plea, I was asking for it. This is not molestation. We have become mole stations, predated genital plantations, product equation of a voice multiplied by silence. This is a science of stillness. We guard our mouths against the police and report just in case they ask about the time, the place, the type of clothing we wore, waiting for validation as if it qualifies. Maybe it was too short, too revealing, too tight, too tempting. What law will deliver us from evil when we are quoted storms in temptation? Try looking at me and not gasp with amazement, because this is my reality. Thank you.
Thank you. Louder, please. Louder, 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 louder.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we'll definitely be in touch. Okay, so I'm going to come back home to the physical space once more. And is Sir Black here? Is Sir Black here? Yeah. You go, Kojo, you go. Anyami. Look, I'm not even going to speak because you see he's carrying all these things up here. You know something is about to happen.
Ice cream!
Sir Black. Ogbena. A round of applause. Are you confused? Are you confused? But that's what Sir Black does. He takes you into spaces that you don't imagine are poetry, or that poetry can even go into. But he's got you thinking. And I'm sure you saw something happening. You heard the sounds. You saw, yeah, that's Sir Black for you. And that's what makes him so phenomenal. So another round of applause. Maybe later on you can go to him, he's sitting at the back, and ask him what that was all about. This gentleman is like, oh my God, like, what was that? That's Sir Black. So next, I hope our next and final online performer is ready. Our Nigerian sister, Iko Dina Abasi. Is she on? Iko, is she on?
I'm here.
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
Please let me introduce you properly. Let me introduce you properly. Okay, so I'll tell you a little bit about her. Iko is a creative writer and performance poet. She writes prose, poetry, and scripts for radio and screen. Her writings explore societal issues, womanhood, pain, and the need to embrace our humanity as a precursor to healing. Did you get that? The need to embrace our humanity as a precursor to healing. Okay, she released a book in 2020, Efo Riro. You can pronounce it properly for me when you come on, okay? But I mean, so much acclaim did that book receive, even in 2020 at the height of a pandemic, okay? Her collection of poems, Symphony of Becoming, was shortlisted for the NLNG Nigeria Prize for Literature and the ANA Prize as well, Poetry Prize as well. It's also been shortlisted for the Wole Soyinka Prize for Literature. She's an alumnus of Fidelity Bank's International Creative Writing Workshop and was a writer in residence at the Ebedi International Writers Residency. And once again, this is a lady who I could read so much about, tell you all the places that her work has been to, and we will not end this show tonight. But she's here, and you must experience her. So, Iko, your audience is ready for you.
Thank you. Listen to me, Dio Namo, thank Bodo, Dio Namo, thank Bodo, Dio Namo, thank Bodo, Tumbondono. Santa Medio Namo, thank Bodo, Tumbondono. Dio Namo, thank Bodo, Tumbondono. The staccato was no firework. The God gave his word to defend the integrity of his people. If everyone respected laws of the land, there would be peace. Indigents, cattle, and even land would not suffer. Taking to duty post that night, the guard worried not about his wife, nor about his son's impressive drawings, nor about high school-bound daughter. Dawn would soon come, find him homebound for late celebrations. The guard's vow was sealed with uniform and cutlasses, but his blades, though sharp, were no match for the marauders' guns. Then, with a bullet to the back, the guard learned too late the staccato in Logo was no fiesta. The staccato from afar was too violent to be New Year Day fireworks. Drawing out a fear so palpable, it left Doshima impaled for the longest seconds. Then, a baby was strapped to her back. Then, a snack and water were tied in a cloth and tossed over her shoulder. Then, the race began. Her feet took off, unaware they wore no shoes. Then, the fires whizzed past her. Then, the screams propelled her faster. Then, an unearthly smell hit her. charring skin mingled with burning grains. Then the noise stopped. Time suspended. Though Shima discovered this staccato in Guma was no firework, but a bullet to her eye. The staccato was the deafening soundtrack to the New Year Day massacre. Santa Media Namo, Tang Bodo Namo, Tang Bodo Namo, Tang Bodo Tambondono. Santa Media Namo, Tang Bodo Tambondono. Media Namo, Tang Bodo Tambondono. That was the staccato. Thank you. I know that was a heavy topic. I wrote it in response to a New Year Day killing in the middle belt of Nigeria. Killings done by herders. So I know it's a kind of a heavy topic. The next piece I want to do is something playful and fun, maybe even romantic. It's a very short piece. It's titled Run. Run your fingers between my tight cornrows like hungry teeth on soft corn cobs. Run. Run your love over my pliant self like Goya oil, anointing, exorcising demons alien. Run. Set your words free amidst run-on lines, your lips supple, kneading like salve on aching limbs. Run. Run your honey over my tight cornrows like high tension, triggering electric squeals. Run. Thank you.
Iko, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we hope to see you again soon, as I keep saying, before Peja 2022, not 1 year later. Thank you so much. Another round of applause for her. All right. Nanayao Sapong, are you ready? Are you here? Nanayao Sapong, where are you? Nanayao. He's got to hide. He's probably eating. He likes food. Nanayao, are you here? Nanayao. Yes, I'm calling you. But who else is calling? Is there another Nanayao Sapong here? Clearly not. Nanayao. Be stage. Oh, if it's part of the performance, I don't have a problem with that. A round of applause for Nanayao Sapong, please. But where's the beer? So apparently the beer isn't cold enough. That's why he didn't bring it up on stage.
Apiokor,
Yes.
this tight skirt. Yes, anyone.
He said I should walk so I can watch my back.
Yeah. Ba 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 oshi ba ba oshi ba ba. Ba 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 oshi ba ba oshi ba ba. Oshi ba ba. Oshi ba ba. Oshi Baba, Oshi Baba. This beautiful tight skirt that brings out the full ambit of your Elmina Sea defense, and a body revealing blouse or a long sleeve shirt that shows your full bloom. Your bottom power, Dunani Mashi, evenly distributed
showing where the power lies, wedged below your curves like Madagascar. In communion with Africa's mainland, Duna Nimashi. You know where the power lies.
Another round of applause for. I don't know if you all understood what he was saying. Some things can't be translated into English. They are perfect in the language in which they're delivered in. Emma Poswa, the stage is yours. And while she comes up, I'll tell you a little bit about her. Emma Poswa is a creative entrepreneur. She's the founder of Tunique Africa, the producers of Mashekela Ghanaian staples made from boiled corn dough. So, you know mashke? Yeah, you know, she actually makes food. She's an entrepreneur. She does other things apart from poetry. She also has a nightline of comfortable sleepwear. And she currently finds expression through spoken word poetry. She's mainly a freestyle poet who's graced many stages, many, I can tell you, including the Halakasa stage. And she's the author of I Wish You Courage in the Night Season, which you all need to find, buy, read, because it's a beautiful book, and she just released it this year.
Thank you so much. A round of applause for the moderator. Thank you so much, Apiokor. So I'm going to share two pieces from my book, I Wish You Courage in the Night Season, and then I would close it off with a freestyle. And what happens with that is you're going to help me do that. Are you excited to do that with me? Okay, so you think of something, I'll take 3 words when I'm done with the reading set, and then I'll create something, hopefully it's worth your while. Strange things. Storms are strange things. Storms are like a ravaging fire, unpredictable and unexpected. They swallow whole things and spit them out as shards. Storms, like fire, test resolve. We are only as strong as the storms that have tested us. In storms past and mighty, she stood strong and determined not to drown, with prayer as her sail and faith as anchor. She was immovable in shadows of losses, an exemplary example of life's journey, a giant. Through her teary eyes and sweat, I learned how to survive ravaging fires. In her nonverbal cues, I found courage to have belief. In the example of her life, I understood what it meant to evolve, earning your stripes, never to cower. I understood how storms could tremble in the face of a greater voice. The voice of love echoes in the darkest valleys, reminding me that I am never alone. Sailing solo and failing thrice at business is also a storm. No one needs to do life without helpers. It is a kind of fire I have never known until I felt its heat. And though it is easy for me to be swallowed whole, I find the oil of joy in the place of prayer, like you showed me. Faith will remain my anchor like you taught me. And love, the rich love of learning daily, bouncing back better fills me. So I know that I'll ride the flames. Storms are dangerous and strange things, but so is prayer, and so is faith, and so is love. Strange things. The second one I'm sharing is everything that's wrong with the phrase wife material. Be a dear and come with me to the fabric shop. How do you typically buy fabric? It's either its name is profound, I imagine you say, or that you saw someone sew a great style with it. Perhaps you hold it up against your cheekbone and the color is flattering. Have you ever been to a fabric shop and didn't know what you wanted to buy, or what particular cloth suited the occasion? There, the attendant becomes the connoisseur. Could be a pro or an amateur. occupying an office he's not necessarily prepared or gifted for, but in a bid to fit in, seeking to belong, you feign sudden interest and make a purchase. See, clothes are ceremonial, some of great value, like a piece of original kente. I don't see anyone here adorned in kente tonight. Do you or have you ever hoped to own an original piece of kente? I imagine that you would use it for your most important events, flaunt it, and hold your head up when you rock it. Give it a special spot in your closet. Tend to it often, air it out, straighten out creases, preserve the value of every cent, proud and content. Whenever you have to repeat it, it's timeless. Clothes fade. Sometimes they go out of date. The seasonal trends, those we make of tailored one-off events, we give it out in charity or we showcase it in galleries. Others tatter and we sew new ones or we outgrow the old ones eventually. So tell me how this symbolism is not evident of how most men today treat women. Some with great value and respect. They honor and cherish them like timeless treasures tailored to fit. Others, like property. Disposables even. In some cases, livestock they get to kill for some flimsy reason, all because at some point, they parted with few coins in the name of a dowry and assumed ownership, the option most prevalent today. There certainly is something that ails us from within, having the gall to haul our souls, leaving us highly contaminated. Only when we know what bugs us will we attempt to find the cure. And this is everything that's wrong with the phrase wife material. Thank you. I actually wrote this piece on the back of the season after the lockdown or during the lockdown, where we had the news was awash with many women dying in their marital homes. And I thought that it was critical to talk about it this way because it just seemed to be the prevailing norm and it was not acceptable. So I thought to share that. So yeah, are we ready? Are we ready with our 3 words? Okay. What would it be? And you tell me what it means to you now. I'm not an encyclopedia. So give me what word on your mind right now and what it means, and then we'll do something with it to wrap this off. Sweet. Okay. Lip gloss. Okay. Sure. What? Kube toffee. Okay. So we're working with kube toffee. We'll make that 4 instead of 3, agreed? We're working with kube toffee. We're working with lip gloss. We're working with sweets. And we're working with material. Everyone that's ever made a fortune started with a leap of faith. But before you leap, it is necessary to ask yourself, what am I made of? Am I the lavish kente cloth adorned in the shop, or the obroni wool by the roadside? Of which material is these yarns tailored of? See, before you leap, you have to take a close look at yourself, make an assessment of everything you own. Take the sweet and the sour, take the bitter and the good, take it all in your stride, because this journey ahead of you is one that is almost unpredictable. The only certain thing is change. And when the sun scorches, you may want to duck. When the sun scorches, you may want to duck or take shelter. Call on the asana seller or call the kube toffee seller. Get the coconut that the juice of which soothes the heat in your heart. Let the cool drink from this shell created by Oduma Nkrumah himself calm you from the stress of life. See, before anybody ever makes a fortune, they would have to take a leap of faith. And that leap may leave their lips broken and cracked by the hot harmattan. They may have to go by and grab the share to be lip gloss for their cracked lips. They may have to tell tales of stories yet unknown. They may have to sing songs in places that they are not allowed to before anyone ever makes a fortune. They would have to take a leap of faith. And this leap of faith will mean going on a journey, packing their cloth in a sack bag with every material that will keep them warm, gracing their sanitaries with lip glosses, taking the sweet and savory snacks to go with. And when they're running out of supplies, they will remember to stop by the coconut tree, call on the coconut cracker, get the coconut kube toffee, and make this journey regardless, because it is their sole prerequisite to make the journey regardless. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Another round of applause. Difficult to do. Don't worry, next time. I mean, Emma did two of the most difficult things for a performance poet to do. She read in performance, and then she gave you a freestyle with words that you gave to her. So you know she didn't carry them from her bag somewhere. Another round of applause for Emma Fuswa. Thank you, sis. That was brilliant. Is Novisi here? Aha. Mupa lewa wehu. Bring that lewa to me. Novisi, please. Oh, clap for him.
Say Romy. I'll do two. Should I say, you know, be easy. This one is called K. I remember trying to make a portrait of you and how the rain falls in Accra. You were not here. I was in the hallway, and I thought I heard the doorknob turn. I remember I saw you in the rain, in a vision, in a light across the city. I've been drinking. But this one is called a Bilinkbe grinding machine. I'll tell you this, but you will never know you got me singing that mid-tempo dance hall in the bathroom, recalling you grind the lanky fella at the karaoke. I've attempted brain surgery, a Bilinkbe babe. You were in full swing, turning this way and that, and yet looking nowhere, like a nonchalant bird, as if you couldn't tell if anything was the matter. We know what you did to us who watched and cheered through the colored lights, blinking, blinding, yellow, green. But God knows you left the poor thing mashed in the blue. After mounting the stage without invitation, as if the song he chose to sing was in your ownership. As if from Abelinkpe to Abavana Junction, Kotobabi, you own the spin in Accra by night. You own his body, accentuating his music. But no, you will never know you've been such a turbulence of an occurrence. You instant rogue imitation of a sporadic lover. You should be summoning the prophets, or Komfanochi, Nehum, but you will never know. Thank you.
Novisi. Please, one more round of applause. So, Novisi, tell me if you're one of these people. There's a friend of mine who says that when he's had too much to drink, one indication is that his blood's on point. Are you one of those people? All right. Is WK here? WK, are you here? Is he here? No? Okay, if not, the verbal transformers are in the house. Or at least one verbal transformer is here, and he's here with na-na-na, the na-na-na. So, Albert of Verbal Transformers and na-na-na, please, the stage belongs to you at this very moment. Clap, 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 clap. Nene. Yeah. You know, Nana is coming here to accompany Verbal Transformers, but he's not a small musician, so I'm really excited to see him here. Oh. But you're not. You good? Set? All right, over to you.
So in occasions or events like this, I always like to project other acts. So for so many years we've been having events like this, creative events like this, and I never come up stage. So as Martin said, Albert, are you going to be on stage? I said no, but today it looks like I'm breaking that rule. So enjoy this piece. And even before that, I want to say, I usually don't come up stage because I like to support other people. And I call on all poets, all creative artists to support one another because we are all unique in our space. And together in our uniqueness, we'll make the art worth listening to and worth selling. So thank you for being here tonight. So pulling the strings of the guitar, tonight I want you to know something. You see, if you are a lover of TV3, you know music is what? Is big. You see, in life, everything has sound codes. Not only the ones we hear on our roads, but to humans, there are two sounds varying in frequencies, irrespective of our currencies. Even far off overseas, there are just two sounds varying in frequencies, and these are noise and music. While noise is unpleasant to the ear, music we all want to hear, right? So listen here. You see, music has specific codes. So when air penetrates the auditory canal of every mammal right to its soul. Just like a narrow mat arrow, as fine as a wooden pole released from a strong bow right to its detonated hole. Music achieves its goal, right? You see, there are various kinds of music, of which some are monophonic, melodic, and symphonic. Music is harmonic, not forgetting it's melodic. That is to say, it can be either slow or fast as compared to those composed presently or in the past. So it really matters what kind of music you are listening to, right? Then the now on the strings. Pulling the strings of the guitar like I'm pulling words out of my tongue. Tonight, just listen to me and enjoy this very piece. Please let me pause here because I'm also an organizer and time is fast spent. And I enjoy this night, so we'll do more. I'm a representative of Verbal Transformers. You can hear more piece on all platforms. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Don't go. Yeah. You know I always do that to you. I'll make and end this whole thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of Live 2021. Another round of applause, please. Nene, stage is yours. Oh. Do you need some help? Should I give you Vim? What should I sing for you? I mean, I've just recovered from the flu, so my voice is not tip-top, but I can help you. Please, your brand.
1, 2. Mr. Adam, please, can you help me with the mic stand? I need your help. So what song do you want to do?
What do you want to do?
Okay, I know your favorite song, so we'll do that.
No, the song that you have made my favorite. Can I still do it with this mic, or I should switch? Tech gurus. Should I still use this mic, or I should switch? I should still use this mic. No, to sing. Are you sure? Eh. Well, I can't control it though.
Yeah, it's okay.
I think you should give me the other one.
Okay,
I think you should give me the
two?
other one. Yeah.
Yeah, give her the cordless one.
Turn your lights down low and pull your window curtain. Oh, let your moon come shining in. I see you pulling it into our lives again. Saying, ooh, it's been a long, long time. I got this message for you, girl. But it seemed I was never on time. But still I gotta get through to you, girl. On time, on time. Oh.
I'm gonna give you some love. I'm gonna give you some good, good loving. I'm gonna give you some good, good loving from the beginning. Turn your lights down low. Never gonna try to resist. Oh no. Oh, let your moon come shining into your heart again. Saying, ooh, I love you.
I love you, yeah.
And I want you to know right now. Saying, ooh, I love you. And I want you to know right now. I'm gonna give you some love.
And I wanna give you some good, good loving.
Give it up for Patricia.
I wanna give you some good, good loving. Yeah. Every song is like a chord I replay every 3 rhythms and 3 seconds of every day. And every chorus is written for us to recite. Every beautiful melody of devotion every night. This ocean might carry you in a wave of emotion to ask you to marry me. And every word, every second and every third expresses the happiness more clearly than ever heard. And when I play them, every chord is a poem telling the Lord how grateful I am, cause I know him. The harmonies possess a sensation similar to your caress. If you asking and I'm telling you it's yes. Stand in love, take my hand and love, job bless. And I wanna give you some good, good loving. I wanna give you some good, good loving. Yeah. Thank you, Nana. Over to you. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Apiokor. My name is Apiokor, poet and many other things, but an artist at heart. Thank you so much for joining us. Oh, Nana Sase is here. My poetic love.
Charlotte.
My poetic love. My poetic love. My poetic love. But you see, you were sitting in front of me and all of a sudden you disappeared.
O ye of little faith, woman. When the matter is good, you keep it short. And so the night before Pija, there was a sitting of random people, poets, everybody else, from different corners of the world, and we attempted to write something.
Nice.
So soon we have to go back into the corners of the evening that let us out. Walking down the corridors of hope, then you must be calling out the concomitant of the foreshadow. Tell us what is to come. Riddles, riddles, riddles. Are we reading Revelations or casting cowries? Riddles, riddles. Will you conjure metal gods or serve as metaphors? Will you drink from the chalice or the revered altar? Or will you enter barefooted into the home of the ancestors? I am not a poet. I have forgotten. It is gone. We shall all meet at the festival of pleasure, walking barefooted in leisure. So soon we have to go back into the corners of the evening that let us out. That was how we part the Jaffa this year. Now I'll leave you with a piece, not mine, but very eternal. Maybe a cocktail of things. Let's go. Ago. Sunjata told his griot, you must summon the leading men. Those who were known as leading men are what the Westerners call army commanders and the Easterners call men of death. When he had summoned the leading men, Kurang Karang Kama Fufana came, a far-seeing man and a man who speaks with authority. Come across to the other side of the river with iron shoes. Come across the river with iron shoes. He and 1,444 bowmen. Sunjata said to him, the time for battle has not arrived. Tiramakang has not come. He told his griot, call the leading men. Suru Bandi Makang Kamara, Makanko to Kamara, Manding Sarajong, Jukuna Makang Kamara, Bali Yakamara, Makanyani Kamara, Nyani Sarajong. He too, together with 1,444 bowmen, answered the call of Nareng Daniyang Konata at Dakachala. Sunjata told him, the time for battle has not arrived. Tiramakang has not come. He said to his griot, summon the leading men. Sankarang Madiba Konte, Sankarang Madiba Konte, Urwarang Kaba and Dongera. Ganda who deprives of courage, Ganda who instills courage, Ganda, master of many arts. Far Ganda killed his in-law on Monday. Next Monday, Far Ganda became provincial governor. And so they say, you do not give your daughter to Far Ganda, killer of his in-law. He too, together with 1,444 bowmen, answered the call of Sunjata. Sunjata said to him, the time for battle has not arrived. Tiramakang has not come. Sankarang Madiba Konte was Sunjata's grandfather. He asked him, is Tiramakang better than all the rest of us? Sunjata said to him, Tiramakang is not better than all the rest of you, yet he fights a morning battle, he fights an evening battle, and we join him in the big battle. Sankarang Madiba Konte took an arrow, he shot the arrow, it hit Muru, it hit Murumuru, it hit Gembe, it hit Gembe's bold son. It hit Siga the Fula in the navel. And so to this day, the griots say to members of the Conte family, arrow in the navel, Fa Ganda. The fire has been struck. The story is yet to continue. Let us save the rest of this for Peja next year. Thank you. How many minutes do we have? How many minutes do we have?
Is Rabbi Ahmed here? Rabbi. Yes. Rabbi has some fire burning in her belly. And when there are poets in the house and you inspire someone so much that they're burning with fire in their belly, you do not say goodbye to them without giving the stage over. So Rabbi, over to you.
Thank you. Hi, beautiful people. How y'all feeling? I know it's late, but we got to use all of our last energy. Come on, you. How y'all feeling? Can I get some more love than that? All right. Should I use this one? Which one is better? Yeah, let's use this one. So I don't have to... Yeah, perfect. I'm short. All right, cool.
You're not short.
I'm very short. No, perfect. Thank you. Thank you all for the opportunity to share. I'm a Ghanaian American poet and educator from New York. Can I get a yer? Yeah, I can do it louder. Can I get a yer? All right. Thank you. So the piece that I'm going to do is called Black Girl Magic. And this is a poem that I used to perform a lot in 2018 and 2019. I told myself I wouldn't perform it. But today, I realized that there's a message in this piece that I need to say to myself and potentially to whoever's in the audience. So if you feel it, come talk to me later. Come grab a card. Come connect with your girl. I'm going to be going back home in a few weeks. But it's been a blessing to have the alignment of having booked my ticket and then find out that the conference is happening here at the same time. So shout outs to God. All right. One time for the Lord. Black girl magic. What's a black girl magically burnt out? A dark hole spiraling down the staircase of commitment. I promised myself I'd be just like the greats. Carve a legacy wider than my ancestors' reach. Sprinkle my lyrical verses to turn this yellow brick road gold. Ease on down with my levitation. Click my heels and all my people shall be free. But what's in it for me? Who's gonna light the fire when my wax body has withered away into self-deprecation, falling into the temptation to dive into the give up? So when you see a black girl's light whipping into extinction, huddle around her. Make sure she don't go out like that. And if she chooses to blow herself out, assure that she makes a wish, that she calls upon the Lord for survival. Pray that her flame is reignited. Chant her name for the Almighty to hear and clear the way as she will rise from the ashes like the phoenix she's always been. Thank you. Have a blessed one.
What's
Thank
Poetic
you.
Prince? Nana. Oh. Poetic Prince.
Poetic Prince, where are you? Okay.
Sat down at all.
Hello. So I wrote this song 5 years ago. I was going on a tour with CTTV, Heritage Caravan. We always travel throughout the country, all the regions within a week. But we couldn't do it, unfortunately, like 2 years now because of COVID.
Ikemomaya sumi maleno Legione wa mahi dakeda Ni mapete oninesi Jako wa maslinga sumi mli Say we would never drown We will never drown. We will never drown. We will never drown. Swami ne humble, eji swami baba. Nomlo jio nyimi, sikale nimbo. Kalokone wayo Iswami ngobe sikle Iofita kaklala We would never drown We would never drown We would never drown We're gonna gonna float, my baby. We will never drown. We will never drown. Thank you. Thank you. Hamajima Jambuwe. Awimbowe, 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 yeah, awimbowe, awimbowe, awimbowe. Awimbowe, 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 awimbowe. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Awimbowe, 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 awimbowe. Awimbowe, awimbowe, yeah, awimbowe, 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 awimbowe. My name is Awimbowe. Nenena. Awimbowe. Awimbowe. Yeah. Thank you.
Nene, thank you. Thank you so much. Now, is Martin around? Martin's everywhere, no. But I need him in one place at the moment because it's about to, and we need to close this properly. While we look for Martin, Poetic Prince, come and close this live across Africa 2021 properly. Please come. Run. Poetic Prince, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Can you hear me? I'll just go right into it. They said, why now? Why did she have to leave after holding on for too long? They said he could have been strong. They said she had everything going on right for her, so what possibly could have gone wrong? They said he should have thought of his families and friends. Now they are all in pain. She said she is a coward for giving in to her pain. He said he is weak for giving in to his pain. He said he is weak for giving in to his pain. Everyone thinks the logic has a place in the realm of sanity. Everyone has something to say without having to check for the series of events that led up to that very moment. Everyone has something to say without checking the note. I just said two words. I tried. I fucking tried. Do you know what it feels like to be trapped in a lucid dream when you're constantly falling to your death over and over again as the darkness closes up on you? Do you know what it feels like to be trapped in a lucid dream when you're constantly falling to your death over and over again? Do you know what it feels like to be trapped in a timeline where it fractures just when the sun's about to, just when the sun's about to rise, and so it's always dark and the logic has no place in the realm of sanity. Some days, you find yourself staring at live bare wires and wondering if your body can take in some voltages. Some days, you find yourself staring at sharp and wondering if your blood comes in different shades of red, purple, and blue. Some days, you find yourself on footbridges wondering if you can walk on air. Some days, you have to stop yourself from stopping in the middle of a highway you're crossing. Some days, you have to hold your breath in the middle of your sleep because you see, sometimes living is difficult. Logic has no place in the realm of sanity. So Caesar took over your convictions, and your left hand is one left hand at a time. So you need to remind yourself to stay grounded. You need to remind your lungs to fall in love with the oxygen that you breathe. You need to remind yourself that you are beautiful over and over again, that you are worthy of what it takes to be alive, worthy of what it takes to dream big out of this world and out of this universe. You are worthy to be alive, because you see, sometimes logic is difficult. So this poem, it's not just for those who understand what it feels like to be trapped in a lucid dream where you're constantly falling to your death over and over again. This poem is for those who sit on the fence, those who don't understand what it feels like to be trapped in a lucid dream when you're constantly falling to your death over and over again. Those who don't understand what it feels like to be trapped in a timeline where it fractures just when the sun's about, just when the sun's about, just when the sun's about, just when the sun's about to rise, and so it's always stuck in there. For those who don't understand, on days when your words are void but nothing, when your words are void of nothing but empathy, on days where you have nothing but logic to offer, please shut the fuck up. Thank you.
Thank you very, very, very much. And I find myself here again. No more poetry. So on Friday evening, I stood right here and I welcomed everybody to the 2021 edition of Peja, a literary festival in Accra. It was the 5th edition we were heralding. It's a great pleasure to stand before you once again, this time on Sunday night, and say that Peja 2021 has come to an end. I'd like to say thank you very, very much to all of you who are still here with us, those who have joined us online via various means. We are streaming on YouTube, we are streaming on Instagram, on Facebook, and people have also joined us via Zoom. We try to carry all these platforms for all the programs that we've had throughout the festival. Thank you very much for joining us. I am someone who really loves to see people in person. And so for those who made it a point to attend in person, I would like to say a bigger thank you to you. And I hear some voices from the back saying they survived. And I know exactly why they survived, because there is a direct flow of beer from the from the bar at the back, and so that makes a difference. This year we were fortunate to have some extra funding from C. Voerman, and they gave us some money which made a difference. Of course, our main sponsors have been the Goethe Institute Ghana. We continue to find them as very solid and dependable partners for all our programs. In addition, we have to acknowledge City FM. City FM has given us free time on their platform, and we've been running a radio program for the past 10 years every Sunday evening. In fact, we are not there tonight because we are here. And obviously, I must say that unashamedly, we have used the platform to plug our programs as much as possible. So we actually had several sessions which we used to talk about Peja, and that is a unique and solid form of sponsorship. We thank them. We also have had this year 2 very interesting collaborations. One of them led to the showing of the movie African Apocalypse. Those who did get to watch that film are commenting and saying that it is actually one of those events, a movie that is a life-changing experience. Unfortunately, I was sitting here pushing paperwork and all that, so I didn't get to watch it. And our license was for 2 days, so I don't know if I can get to watch it again tomorrow, but that was something that we really acknowledge the filmmakers for, especially Femi Nylander, who actually made the film. We acknowledge that. And then also the Foundation for Contemporary Art in Accra gave us their premises, so you would have found out that we had a parallel session in addition to what was happening here at the Du Bois Center, the premises of the Foundation for Contemporary Art. And so Peja got bigger in that direction as well. We acknowledge them with thanks. There have been many other people who at this point in time will go unmentioned, some of them because they have specifically asked that their contribution be kept unannounced. And so we acknowledge that and we thank them nevertheless. Many people have continued to support the work of the Writers Project of Ghana over the years, and we thank them. At this point in time, I will extend my thank yous and acknowledge, seated right in front of me, Mamle Kabu, my co-director at the Writers Project of Ghana. And as we begin to extend, we would like to see if Elizabeth Johnson is here. Elizabeth Johnson is a festival manager. And if she comes here and falls asleep immediately, that will tell you the amount of work she has put into making the festival a success. And of course, we would like to acknowledge the technical team. This year we had very good support from Joby Wings Limited. Joby Wings have sorted out the technical work, and so the streams that are coming from this point in time are done via their professional equipment and professional staff, and we thank them also for doing that. Now I will let Elizabeth, if she still has breath, to take this up, to introduce the rest of the team that we've worked with to bring Pager 2021 to you.
Thank you, Martin. So I would like to start with the supporters of the technical team. So we have this gentleman here. The name starts escaping me. We have Albert, thank you. We have Albert, who is still standing and doing some camera work. We have James. We have Kofi Jogbewu. And then we have Delali, who also supported with making the festival possible. We have Ifya Kisiwa, who is sitting in her blue and the black mask. Amatifet over there. Of course, Nana Yao Sapong. Alice doing the social media, running around. We have Oakley and his team with photography. At the front desk, we had Halima, who is still there. So I hope she can hear me. Halima, thank you for getting us some money while we make the festival possible. We also had Grace and Sandra taking care of our guests. And am I forgetting anyone? Yes, Paul and Samuel and Joshua and Eonam. And please, if I've forgotten your name, please forgive me. And we had Bernard Akwe Jackson supporting as well. Beatrice, how can I forget? Auntie B also. Who else? Please help me remember. I hope I've mentioned. Oh, I've mentioned. I've mentioned Ifya. Yeah. So it's and Fui Kantamaklo as well. Ama Afra Apia also. So that's our volunteer team. So I'd like to know. Oh, Mr. Adom, how can we forget, please? Mr. Adom. Mr. Adom. And I think Mr. John O. The list goes on and on. But I also like to acknowledge Razak, who was moving people from Goethe into FCA. And also thank you very much to Apiokor for hosting the poetry across Africa. So at this point, I'd like to say thank you to the audience who, cleared their schedule to make it possible to attend. I think this is a very well-attended festival in our 5th year. I'm really happy to see the numbers. To those who couldn't make it for whatever reasons and joined on social media, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on Zoom, there are people that I saw their names in almost every event. I want to say thank you for dedicating your time and your data to join us. And so, yeah.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for that. And of course, the thank yous will go on. If you enjoyed the kinky this afternoon, we actually had free kinky, and you missed it. Free kinky and great shito with all sorts of encomiums. This is now a staple of Peja. Yes, it will always be there because you see, the people who sponsor it, the public publishers, yes, they love ink. And they've always been with us, and so we acknowledge them as well. And the staff at the kitchen, the Gothic kitchen, they've extended their working hours just so that they make sure they can give us food when we need it and the drinks. Yes. They've also been the source of the endless beer we've been drinking. and so, yes, indeed, many thanks. I'm just trying to see if we've forgotten anyone. And if we have, yes. There's one more thing. In fact, it would have been a very bad thing to forget. This year, in addition, Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel decided to step in and support the festival. And how did they do that? They sponsored a dinner for the festival, and I hope they do it again next year. In fact, I hope they do it again before the festival, at least 1 or 2 times. But we acknowledge Kempinski Gold Coast Hotel for their support of the festival as well. Family.
I want to thank Stella Egble-Wogbe because she tolerates a lot from us and from Martin every year during Peja. Stella, are you still here? Okay, Stella, we love you. We thank you for putting up with all this. Also, I want to thank the performers for the poetry session, and I think "Shut the Fuck Up" was a fantastic line on which to end this year's Peja.
Yes, so we are just going to end before we start hearing you say "shut the fuck up." Have a good night and see you next year.
So please have a good night and safe journey back home. Please, our volunteers, wherever you are in Goethe, please come so that we can take a group picture. Calling all volunteers of Peja 2021, please come so we can take a group picture. Thank you.